find you at. So. Holy shit! Absolutely. Drop your weapon.
Hey, you!
Oh man!
Alright, got my headset. What up, Ezra? Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy some Sifu. Hope I'm as good at fighting while I tell a story. Let's see. It could be a story about anything. It should be topical. A story about someone
Open up!
beating up a lot of people.
Make me bust it!
The story of indomitable human spirit. That guy was really mad at that door for some reason. He should have been more angry at me. Always sweep the knee. That's not the story, but that might be the moral to the story, since that's just a universally good moral. Ow. Sometimes I get punched, but not that often. And it's always rare enough that I make it look cool when I do it. You want any particular kind of story, you can let me know. You can request anything from a hard-boiled detective noir genre piece to
No freaking way.
subversive modern sitcom kind of thing. I think those are like two opposites. I gotta sweep that guy's knee. But first, that person's stun meter is full, so let me do the takedown on them. That's generally what you want to do in this game, is get their stun meter full, so they can do takedowns. Have I ever been in a fight? That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. I guess the answer is no, insofar as like there's nothing that immediately springs to mind. I've never been in like a full head-on like throwing punches conflict. Not a Sifu kind of fight, unfortunately. I like to punch early enough that you question whether or not I'm a good guy. That's just called being proactive, basically. Sometimes when you do a takedown, the enemy can resist it, then go Super Saiyan. But that hasn't happened quite yet. Yeah, I don't think I've generally been in situations that lead to a lot of fights, because I don't really keep a lot of like very dramatic company. Like personally, because I'm such a chill person. It's not that I specifically look to hang out with other really chill, I wouldn't say conflict averse, but just not predisposed to most kinds of conflict. I don't really look for those people, but I kind of end up with them. So I haven't been in any kind of conflicts that were so bad that they escalated to being physical. That guy went Super Saiyan. I'm glad he did that, because it's a great example of that happening. They tend to fight quite a bit harder after they go Super Saiyan. They just get their second wind. Their internal organs unhemorrhage themselves. Which I didn't mean to die, but that's fine. We can get past it. Very Dark Souls-esque, somewhat, as you might find out here. And I just hit him in the fucking balls a little bit. That's always a classic. I don't think they can resist 2 takedowns. At least I haven't had that happen yet. There is one thing though, like either one dialogue option or one collectible somewhere in this level that I haven't gotten according to the menu, so we may or may not find it this time. I should tell fictional stories from the fictional universe I've thought of at some point. I just need to get a good verbal idea together and then present it well while beating all these people up flawlessly. It's very easy because I'm a very good content creator. Really, the trick to making anything appear effortless is just to not really try. It may work out, it may not. Unlike this fight, it is effortless, but not in that sense, just because it's gonna be really easy for me. He's fat, but not so fat that I can't just fucking blow his knee out. Nice, I got the takedown. I don't think that would work in real life. Maybe hitting him in the balls would stun him, but then just kind of chopping him in the neck like that. I don't think that works. My Twitch viewer count, if I have 0 to 1 viewers, usually hangs at 1 for some reason. So it doesn't even show you as active in the chat right now, which is fine. It's no big deal. I just wonder why Twitch has that very consistent glitch. You know, could have been a 4H crafts thing for all I know. Yeah, they're like, that dude's fighting skills are insane. Fucked up a little there. Messed up with the parry. The game is pretty punishing if you miss a dodge or a parry. It really trains you through negative reinforcement to not spam the parry and guard button. Because there are high penalties for missing the parry. Feel like left really vulnerable for a long time. I picked up the pipe, he wasn't supposed to do that. And generally speaking, you need to learn to dodge more and get better positioning, rather than just defaulting to parrying all the time, because that builds up my stun meter, like you just saw there. But now we're fine, and I took his pipe, and we'll exchange it for this brand new pipe that was on the table. The most pain I've ever been in. I don't think this is a good answer, but one time, I think I was on summer break in the 1st grade. So maybe between the 1st grade and 2nd grade, I was, I'll tell them I took it wrong too. What are they gonna say? I guess not. Alright. Fun prank, just, if you meet someone, just start beating the shit out of them with a metal pipe that you brought into the room with you. Anyways, in that summer break, I was on the swim team. I was like after the swim practice, and we were taking turns going on the big high dive, and I was a huge coward back then. I'm only slightly less so now. And so I stood up at the top of the high dive for a long time, at least what felt to me like a long time. And people were like encouraging me to jump, but I decided against it, and I had my hand on the railing, and as I was walking back off the high dive in shame, and there was a hornet there that stung me. And I didn't even know it at the time because I didn't see it. I just was looking at the sting later, and then my cousin, who said that he knew about these things, we just took his word for it, was like, I don't know what he said. It kind of felt like a hornet, or could have been a bee or a wasp or whatever, but something that stung me, and something that I had looked at and that mildly traumatized me a little bit. For more pain, that definitely had more of a lasting impact, that weirdly had less of an impact on me, probably because I was a little older when it happened. I was playing with a friend of mine one time in the 5th grade. We were playing the amazing game. I think it was cops versus hobos, and I was the cop. I was in his it was kind of like a treehouse, but not built into a tree. It was like this prefabricated treehouse like structure, and I was climbed up on the oh, okay, I guess I can't parry the object with the current upgrades I have, because instead I just fucking ate that bottle to the face. Let me position myself to take down, get the weapon whenever you can. Then I should be able to do a takedown. This guy. Then he resisted me. That's bad for me. The other guys shouldn't be a problem though. Maybe I can get this guy's. There we go. Their weapon. That'll make my life a bit easier. And we were playing cops versus hobos or whatever. My friend was the hobo, and he starts throwing sticks up at the treehouse that I'm in. And one of them, perfectly, you would have thought he planned it perfectly. If he did, I couldn't even be mad because his aim was impeccable. Right as I'm coming up to look to see where he is, the stick perfectly hits my right eye. And it's as painful as you can imagine. And I'm like, this sucks. Even as the memory, I'm like, that sucks. I don't think there's any other collectibles here. Let me go through here. I was out of school for like a week or so, maybe. I was seeing the eye doctor every day. Probably out of school for like a couple weeks. Yeah, let's
Step aside.
yes, let's tell him step aside. This was the hostile response, but still pretty. That guy got knee swept. Classic rookie mistake. Luckily, that'll be the least of his worries. Hit him in the balls and chop him in the face a little bit. It's a classic. Ooh, rip. I thought I parried that. And now we're bringing this bamboo stick with us. So I guess as far as pain, I think I would go with the eye injury maybe. I haven't broken a bone, which is really good. Although the eye injury was worse just because of like the ongoing results in recovery rather than like the initial moment, I guess, although that really sucks. Maybe I just blocked out most of the pain because I spent the good few hours at the ER and all that. Yeah, if I ever break a bone or like hyperextend my knee or get a kidney stone, especially as an adult, since adults seem to have less of a pain tolerance, or maybe they can just more confidently express themselves. No, I beat up the homeless because I'm Batman, but that's a great question. And although, now that it's said out loud, Batman beats up the homeless because he's traumatized. Although he's traumatized in a much cooler way than me or most anyone is. Although then again, Batman wasn't that coolly traumatized. He was basically a rich brat about a very common atrocity experienced by many children across the world. They are orphaned at very young ages, even younger than 8 years old when Bruce Wayne saw his parents shot in front of him. Then he did have a butler. One guy from the flashback in Arkham Asylum really had a point. Like, a whole lot of kids die that don't have a butler to buttle them. I'm fighting this guy now. He's called the Botanist. This is the guy that flashed my face as a child in the prologue flashback sequence. Spoiler alert with something that already happened. The skill progression in this game is incredible. Like, it's crazy how much better I am now at the game than I used to be. Just swept this fucking knee like it was nothing. I almost got to do it again. Nice. Yeah, I fucking owned him there. This isn't gonna be quite as easy though. All the bosses, at least so far, have 2 phases. The second being both an environmental change and just a general difficulty increase. How many times have I reincarnated? This time, since this is the first level, only once. You were there to see it. Overall, like how many times have I died in general? A whole lot. Whole lot. But that's fine. It's like I say, you gotta get stomped to stomp sometimes. Is a common coping mechanism I use in competitive online video games, but in this game I can say you gotta get beaten up to beat up. The guy will pop out of the trees any second now. He's very cool and dramatic that way. We can pick up, should be some sticks of bamboo around here that we can use. Yeah, right here. Let's pick this up. Hopefully the game isn't glitching out because he should be jumping out at me. Yeah, the game might be a little broken. It's inconvenient. That is a little inconvenient. I could always restart the game on the higher difficulty. That's kind of what I thought about doing anyway. Then you can see the prologue at least. Let's give up. Let's just straight up give up and make the game think that it beat us. Hope you enjoy your movie, Ezra. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of this game. If it's a new movie in the theater, I hope you have a good time going out. If it's a streaming movie at home, then I hope you have a good time exactly where you are. I won't bother starting a new game then, at this point. Maybe next time, maybe not. Some of those kicks in the pause menu you had to unlock through the upgrades, I think. And I think they were always there in the menu. But I'm not entirely sure about that. Anyway, I'll take a break from Sifu for now.